long have you been of service, like the 29th now?
I've been with the 29th just over 8.5 years.
8.5 years. How do you do
Yes. Looking back, I remember when I went through BCT and I was like, I'll be here 6 months and then I'm gone. I really don't know how 8.5 years went by so fast.
that? Well, doesn't it get boring?
No. This never gets boring. There's always something new every day, whether it's, these two people aren't getting along, or we want to work on this project, or there's always something going on in the unit to keep us busy. Keep me busy, I should say.
To serve for this long, what drives you to do that?
There's this feeling of brotherhood that we get from that we have here in the 29th. That I took a little retirement when I was in pharmacy school, and I just missed it. I don't know really how to describe it, but I know that there was something missing when I wasn't here.
So you were missing the 29th and the unit and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you get into that routine. You get home, you check the forums, you're at work, you check the forums, you come home, you hit TeamSpeak, it's, I don't know, it's a great experience, I would say.
Yeah, I do that too, so I guess I'll miss it too. But when you joined as a private, did you ever thought you would be who you are now?
Not in a million years. I was completely okay with just staying in Zucker. And then I was like, maybe I'll become a clerk and see where that takes me. And then they offered me OCS, and I was completely astounded by it.
So then, as a lieutenant colonel, what are your daily tasks for the unit?
The majority of my role is administration, so I make sure that we have the right people in the right place to make sure that everything gets done. A lot of my job is delegation, to make sure that company HQ has what they need, staff offices have what they need, problem resolution, that sort of thing. Big picture is my goal. Again,
To go back when you were a private, what were your expectations back then?
Oh, so long ago. My expectations as a private, I guess I really wanted really fun squad drills. I got really lucky when I was a private. I was assigned to a squad that had a rich history and a lot of old guys, and we had this mentality of, we're the best, whether you believe us or not, we'll prove it to you, that sort of thing. And we even had our own, squad motto that we all had bound, that when live was called, all of us were like, boom, 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 boom. It was, if there was 8 on the team, there were 8 mottos that went flying across.
You joined back in a DoD, right?
Oh yes.
Some old school game.
I miss it. Rising Storm's pretty cool stuff.
Would you still play DoD?
If people played it, yeah, I would. I tried playing on the bot server, but it's just not the same. And I can't bunny hop anymore, so it makes me sad.
I completely understand. Who was or is someone you admire in the unit?
Definitely Capelson. He's been a role model and a mentor so many times for me. Not through just OCS, but even, as a company commander, and even still now, if there's something I needed, I'm sure I could go to him and just be like, what would you do? And he would give me the answer I was looking for, at least make me think about it to where I could get the answer.
I asked this question on my first interview when I interviewed Technical Sergeant Conrad, and he mentioned you.
Oh, man. Tumbling?
You as a private joining the 29th and go all the way up to Lieutenant Colonel now, and he admires you.
That's really the one thing I love about this unit is all of us have started at the bottom.
True.
I went through BCT, Captain Wilson went through BCT, all of us, whether it's the freshest private or myself, all of us have gone through the same process. You know what I mean?
True. That's a good thing about this unit. You start equally on the same line, and you built your own structure, basically.
Exactly. You learned what we had before, and now I'm in a chance where I can improve, but needs to be either improved from before or updated for modern time.
What other staff positions have you had in the unit? I understand this can be a lot, but you don't need to mention all of them.
really a majority of my work was in Adjutant Corps. I forget exactly which position I started out in, but then I moved to Assistant Adjutant as I became a clerk. It was just kind of back then that's the Assistant Adjutant was always the clerk kind of thing. And then after that I became commissioned, so most of my roles became combat side. But I still worked with Adjutant a lot. I did bring back Civil Affairs, then Signal Corps, and re-established that office as a newsletter office and got that rolling again. And it morphed into what we have today for Civil Affairs. That office was an interesting one because it came back and then the editors would or the writers would all write what they had and then it'd go away. And then it would come back and then they'd kind of use what they had and then go away. So it's kind of nice to see it now actually self-sustaining and much more diverse than what it was. Back in my day it was just, one post a month. Now they've got different interviews, they've got videos, they've got different projects they're working on. It's nice to see the office expand.
Yeah, we're getting bigger and bigger every day. If this is classified, okay, you don't have to tell me, but are there any big future plans in the 29th?
Well, I didn't want to release it yet, but we're moving to Rocket League.
A 29th unit for Rocket League?
Yeah, the whole unit's going. Nah, I was just kidding. Really, for the future, our goal right now is just, we've been in our games that we're currently established in over a year now. And I think it's just time to set ourselves apart and make us, the 29th, take the gameplay that we've fallen into. We've understood it now, and now to take that and make it, take it to the next level. We're comfortable now, let's push the envelope. That's really going to be our big focus. And, consolidating and reorganizing our staff offices and making sure that there's clear definitions of who's doing what, good integration between the offices, and that's really our focus. We've come so far already. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, indeed. So, if I may ask, how old are you now?
I'm 28. I joined when I was 2006. I was like 19 when I joined.
Alright. Nice age.
I'm old.
Is there anything you see as a big difference in the unit compared to the early days in DoD?
The obvious one would be size. We had, 40, 50 guys when we were in DoD. I remember expanding. I was at the OCS where Second Lieutenant Nishimoto was commissioned and given CP3. So when I joined, we had 2 platoons basically in the company, and now we're up to 8, I believe, off the top of my head, roughly. So the size is really different. When I joined, we were an EST with a few Pacifics, and now we've got close to 300 people from all around the world. Australia, we've had a few Japanese people, some Koreans, all over Europe. That's really helped me, I feel, expose myself to a bunch of other cultures as well.
Imagine that everybody of the 29th is standing in front of you. You're on a stage with a microphone. What would you say to the guys and girl?
Honestly, I would say thank you, because the work that they do through staff offices, through running squads, through running platoons, keeping the companies together, really makes my day much, much easier. It's really nice to just come in and have to tweak a couple things than have to come in and run the whole thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think they would say thank you to you too.
Well, I appreciate that.
What you do for the whole unit, and what everybody else does, of course. This is the last question. What is the best thing that ever happened to you in the unit?
My favorite memory in the unit? I've got a couple, actually. My number 2, I would say, would be during my second OCS scrimmage, where it's not a lot of people may or may not know this, but I didn't have the best computer when we were in DoD. In DoD, I was lucky to get 15 FPS, unless I was looking, and I would have to look straight at the ground to give a brief for my squad to be able to, or my squads to be able to hear me. So I would say my second favorite is in my OCS 2. I came around the corner on Icyone, and Second Lieutenant Lily, or First, I forget his rank then. Lily was standing right there, and I just lit him up with my Tommy gun, and I killed him. And he was like, the one. He was one of my first platoon leaders, a mentor at the time, and really, a god among men in my eyes at those days. So to kill him during my OCS was a great feeling. But I would have to say my favorite all-time experience in the 29th was on February 29th, 2008. I led Den CP4 against the 35th ID in official scrimmage, and I pulled a Lieutenant Winters where I didn't fire my rifle at all. I didn't have to. I tucked myself into a corner and I led my squads. And the best part about all of that was there was one round where we didn't lose anybody. And the second round, I think we lost 4 or 5. I mean, it was just complete domination. And then we did a round of chords, said goodbye, came back into Ventrilo at the time, and just had a blast with the company.
That sound is a great memory to have.
Oh, it was so much fun.
I thank you very much for having this interview with me.
Definitely. Thanks for the opportunity.